Hey everyone, sorry about this. I was reading something on the bottom there. But yeah, this is live. It is about 6:45 in the morning. Actually, it's 6:44, as you can tell, Pacific time. But yes, we are live as live can be, and as you can tell by me walking around here, things are back to normal. Well, as the title says, semi-normal, because about 30, I would say 30 minutes ago, half hour ago, my mom left for work. Um, you heard that right. She is back at work. Um, and I know honestly that her and her fellow teachers are kind of shocked at how fast this summer vacation went for them because I'll be honest, it went fast for me. I'll be honest, it went fast for me because I was actually, even though I had stuff planned, and you all saw that, even though I had stuff planned to premiere and everything during the summer, because of the fact that, she was going to be home and I would, I wouldn't be able to have the opportunities like what I'm having now to do what I'm doing. Um, I was surprisingly able to get some content out, although, as I've said before, I had to find opportunities even when she was home, like if she's watering her garden, if she's listening to a Cuffalo Dollar, online or on television ministries, or she's out doing something like getting her hair cut, her oil changed, visiting my sister, stuff like that, going to church, and then visiting my sister. I've had to find opportunity. I've had to use these opportunities and everything to do stuff. I have. But even when she was here, like I said, I was kind of surprised. One thing I'm thankful for, though, one thing I'm thankful for is a camera, depending on, whether it wants to work right. Mostly it does. I think sometimes when the battery gets weak, it tends to kind of not really tell me it's getting weak, even though it shows like a full charge and it just goes off and all that. But outside of that, outside of that, thankfully I have a pause option on that. I have a pause option on OBS Studio when you choose the MP4 video format to record with on that. So so thankfully I have these options. I should say, and I do apologize. I'm still waking up. Um, Thankfully, like I said, I was able to have these kind of options you know available. Basically discover these options. Like with OBS Studio and the choosing of the MP4 format to pause with. Thankfully I have these options available to me so that if she does interrupt, which has been several times, I mean, if you listen to the videos or the audio versions of them thoroughly, depending on where you watch them, whether it's here on YouTube, my Spotify, or even Twitch, if I'm doing it live and all that, or if I'm able to upload, because hopefully I'll be able to upload in that area too. Um, Basically, you'll hear like her voice suddenly just appear, or you hear me going like, "What?" or "Yeah, what do you need?" kind of deal, and I'll have to pause or I'll have to leave. So yeah, there have been moments to where basically she has done that. To where she will interrupt. Hold on for a second. Where she will interrupt and everything, but most of the other time, I've actually been very fortunate to, like I said, be able to get some content out even when she's here, So thank the Lord for that. I think in a way, I'm honestly going to be. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I think she is starting to kind of understand that I'm doing like videos and everything. That because I explained to her. I explained to her when I get the opportunity. Oh, and the next opportunity I get will be in November, beginning of November, hopefully in time for the holidays. You know, I think the more I've explained to her that, hey, I can monetize and make money off of YouTube here based on my views and all that, I think the more I've explained that to her, over time, the more she gets like, oh, this is why he's in his room a lot, or this is why I hear him talking out loud sometimes. He's probably doing a video so he can make money on the side, and so thank the Lord, she's kind of understanding that little by little. I mean, she still has her moments. Don't get me wrong. She still has her moments and everything, to where she will, open the door without knocking and everything, or she will, just call out to me and ask me to do something. Even if she knows I'm doing a video or a live stream, which she probably, which again, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if she knows about the live stream portion, but the recording of the making of a video, the recording of a video, she probably does know of. But like with the live stream, she probably can't, she probably doesn't know the difference. So she still has that habit. I mean, there were several times to where she would basically, long story short, I would have to instantly pause. Excuse me. I would have to instantly pause, my video recording and everything, because suddenly she'll show up and be like, hey, Brian, I need you to do this. Or, Brian, I need this, and da, da, da. Which, again, I wouldn't mind doing and everything, but she'll do it by basically, for example, let me show you what I'm talking about. So let's say I'm right here, right? I'm on my seat right here. I'm on my chair. If you can see that. It's let's see. There you go. Let's say I'm right here on my seat, right? This is what happens. So I could be sitting down. The door is shut like that, right? Like all the way. And sometimes she'll do this, which is good. She'll knock like that and then ask me. But then sometimes she'll be like, hey, Brian, and all of a sudden she'll start doing this and then just, open the door. She'll just open the door and all that. Not all the way like that, but basically she'll open it technically to where I have to get up, and literally she can open it up like this, just enough room to kind of talk to me, or she'll ask me, hey, can you open it all the way? Or she'll open it all the way herself. And I don't blame her really for that. I don't blame her, because that's something that that's something that my late grandfather, her dad, used to do when we lived with them. He would open the doors without knocking. He would do that to us. I think that he did that to my uncle a couple of times when he lived with them the most. And that's the truth. He lived with them a lot longer and more so than anyone else. But yeah, he would have a habit of opening the doors without knocking. He would. So, so I think that's where my mom gets it. It's a hereditary habit. It's a hereditary habit to where she inherited it from my grandpa, which is why, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. She, most of the time she is, getting better at it, where she will knock first and everything before coming in, most times, but she still has that habit that she falls into of, I'm just going to open the door because, I'm just going to open the door without question or knocking, because, it's a habit thing. She feels like she has the right to just be like, well, I wouldn't say burst open, but she feels like she just has the right to be like, hey, can I talk to you? And all of a sudden just open the door without knocking. Not realizing somebody could be changing and all that, or whatever. She just opens the door out of habit. And again, I don't blame her entirely for that, because that's something she inherited. It's something she inherited. And I think she knows that. It's just that she doesn't want to, flat out admit that, it's something that she inherited from her parents, because she does admit that there are some things she has inherited from them, in a sense that, she's trying to shake a little bit. Like, she knows she has to not do this like they did, or do that, like, she knows not to do this thing like they did, or do that thing like they did. You know, so she has that understanding. She has that understanding, but outside of that, again, I was just, surprised I was able to do a lot without her interruptions and everything. Because again, like I said, I found opportunities when I could. Now, like I said yesterday in the video, and again, the title says it here. We are basically back to semi-normal. Now, what that means, in case you guys didn't see it in yesterday's video, and you're watching this live, what that means basically is a week from today, I'll be getting, like right now, I'm going to be getting up for work, if not getting myself ready to go out the door to catch the bus to go to work. And the reason I say that is because a week from today, I'll be starting here. Let's see if we can find it right here. I'll be starting here at my sister's job, possibly either permanent or temporary. Right now it's a seasonal thing, so it's temporary. I don't know how long the seasonal thing will go. I'm assuming because I got to get things ready for the holiday season and all that I think the seasonal deal will be for about at least till around the end of the year. That's what I'm assuming. And then I think that's where, as my sister put it, they'll decide, okay, who are we going to keep on a permanent basis. So yeah, by next week at this time, I'll be getting myself ready and probably out the door, because the way I look at it is if I can't get an Uber, which I should, or a Lyft, which I should, then what I'll do is I'll take, like the 740 bus, the 740 bus, if you will, get dropped off at the Walmart, if you will. Or is it? I'll have to look. It could be a 730 or 740 bus, one of them. But basically, my plan is to get dropped off at the Walmart, close to, which is, it's my former job. Get dropped off at the bus stop there, if you will, and then just walk from there, if you want to look at it that way. Or the plan would be get dropped off at the senior center and then walk from there, or take my bike from there if I can get my bike fixed and everything by that time frame. So we'll see what happens, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out because, I got to get there one way or another. And if I have to take my bike just once a day to the bus stop, then so be it. So be it. I will do that. But outside of that, again, like I said, like I said in the original video, in the previous video that I did yesterday, the reason I'm bringing that up is because the way the schedule is going to work, for me, is the same way it works for my sister. Now, there are going to be times I may have to stay a little later at work. I'm not saying that's the case or anything. But basically, the way the schedule is going to work primarily for the time I'm there is I'll start at 6, get off at 2:30. And my sister has even said that she's going to take me not home, but to my bus stop. And then that way, when I get on the bus, I could just, go from the bus stop to Newman, because there are 2 bus stops at near my job, my former job at Walmart. The first bus stop is basically, the one that I would get dropped off at originally when I worked there. And then the other bus stop is across. They just put this one across to where you go over there, because again, as I've mentioned before, they changed the routes. You would go onto this bus stop, or you go over to that bus stop, and the bus coming from that direction would pick you up, and you would go on, and then you would go from that bus stop on straight to Newman and everything. So I look at it like, okay, I'm gonna get dropped off at these bus stops and everything. I'm gonna get dropped off at these bus stops, and that will work. That will work for me, primarily. It'll work for me. Now I know they're working on installing new bus stops all around here. In fact, here they got a bus stop that they're getting ready to put together in this area, like on this side of the street and everything. And I do apologize for that notification there. But like I said, they're planning to put a bus stop on this side of the street here, opposite of the other one. So that way when you're getting ready to, I guess, go from this area to another area, you'll be picked up that way. So I'm assuming they're doing that because of a lot of the new businesses going up in Patterson. So with all the new businesses going up in Patterson, they're obviously trying to work out a new route for people to get there. And the reason I say that's possibility because they have a bag on top of the sign saying a new route's being established and everything. But you would think, well, they should have it ready by now, right? No, they don't. The new route's going to coincide with what's going on the Inyo side of things because they're doing road construction right now. They are doing road construction right now, right at the beginning here of Inyo. Right at the beginning here of Inyo, they're doing a road construction. So my mom and I, mostly my mom, has to take like a little detour. She has to go down, but instead of going all the way down to Inyo and then turning to the left or the right, she has to go all the way down to the first turn before it, Main Street, and turn to the left, and then kind of turn to the right, if you will, and then turn to the left and head off to work, or turn to the left, turn to the right, turn to the right to go to the store, or something like that. She literally has to do that, and that's the truth. That's the truth. She literally has to do that. But yeah, basically they are working on a new bus stop, which again I think it all coincides with what's going on at Patterson because as soon as you get off the freeway, they got a new area. It used to be all empty space. Now a lot of things are being built on top of it. It's like as soon as you get off the freeway, there's an art that, on the other side originally, it was gas stations, little restaurants like a Carl's Jr., Denny's, KFC, A&W, stuff like that. Well, on the other side, it was just all blank. Now, now there's actually business there. I mean, on the opposite side and everything, you now have a Love's gas station Arby hybrid. You got a Love's gas station Arby's hybrid, and then now alongside that, you have a Speedco car service, automobile service, and then in the same area you got a grocery outlet, and you got you have which just opened up, that being the grocery outlet, and you got a Dutch Brothers right next to it, which is going to be opening up. I mean, literally right next to it, it's going to be opening up. So basically the way I look at it is you have all these businesses opening up on the left side of the turnoff, where you're coming off. Or like let's say you're coming from the direction of Fresno here, if you will, you're coming off the direction of Fresno here, you go straight down, you want a pit stop, there you go. Or, if you're coming off the highway, you're coming off from this direction as well, to come home. Like, it could be either way. Like, if you're coming from, like, the Fresno area to work at one of the warehouses here in Patterson, there's your pit stop. Or if you're coming from the Fresno area, back home to Patterson, there's one of your pit stops. Same with, The same with going up to work towards like where my mom's going, Livermore, Pleasanton, Dublin. You got the gas stations on this side, but if you want like a Dutch Brothers, there's the Dutch Brothers right there, and then you get back on the freeway. Or when you're coming home, you go onto the turnoff, and when you get onto the left side, when you're driving into Patterson, there you go. Perfect, absolutely perfect, if you will. So either way, basically, people are going to have a variety of options, which is why when I look at this covered up bus sign and it says new route coming, and then I see what's going on at the end of Inyo, and then I see what's going on at the Patterson area as soon as you come into Patterson from wherever you are or from wherever you're coming from, whether it's the Fresno area or the Bay Area, that kind of tells me that the buses are going to start going towards that direction. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but why would you put something like that that's going in the opposite direction if we don't serve Gustine anymore? Why do that? That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense. So honestly, I think that's what's going to happen to where we're going to have a bus coming from, because we have a bus going in this direction, and I got a feeling as soon as things by November get better, construction-wise and everything, we're going to have a bus going in this direction, and it's going to turn this way. Like a bus is going to come and turn this way, and everything, while we're going to have a bus that's going to go this way and turn that way. So, obviously, things are going to work. Things are being done for a purpose. And I honestly can't wait to see what they have in store. Because I know people are going to be working in those warehouses or at that grocery outlet or at the Dutch Brothers that live here in Newman. And I know a lot of people like myself don't drive. So obviously they're figuring out, okay, how do we help them out? And I think there you go. That's just my opinion. But yeah, things are going to get back to semi-normal. Well, things are back to semi-normal because one, basically, as I mentioned, coinciding with what I just said, the hours work out perfectly because when I get home, which according to the map, and it's even been proven right, believe it or not, it should be like around 4:05 or something like that, 4:05, 4:10. I will have literally 30, I'll put it this way, I will literally have an hour and a half to 2 hours to myself. So I'll be able to do content and everything, when I get back, if I'm not too tired, and I shouldn't be. Because if I drink coffee or G Fuel or something like that, I should be good. I should be good to go. But yeah, things are, again, like I said, things are back to pretty much semi-normal now. Again, I can tell you honestly, my mom and her fellow teachers are not too thrilled of how fast this summer vacation for them went. And I'll tell you this, it's been a very, very busy summer for us. It's been a very busy summer for us because of the fact that, honestly, we've had a lot going on. We had my nephew's wedding, on the 25th of June. We've had birthdays and the 4th of July to coincide with that. We had a triple graduation on the 22nd, for my cousin's daughters, who are my second cousins, but look at me as the uncle, so my nieces, niecey cousins, if you will. Kind of like my mom, from a religious standpoint, calls my cousin sister niecey. These are my niecey cousins, or cousin nieces, if you will. We had a triple graduation for them. And then, of course, we had my birthday and all that. And then after that, we had a little bit of a break, not too much. Then we went to Santa Cruz and so on and so forth. And again, it's just been one adventure after the other, one busy moment after the other. it wasn't basically a typical summer to where like, okay, you'll do one thing, here and there. It's like you'll do. It's like basically, it's like, oh, we'll do this and everything, and then, we'll go back and and then we'll take a break for about a month or two, or whatever, or like we'll do this, and like for example, it's like instead of the wedding being on the 25th, if it was like, on the, if it was like around my nephew's birthday, it'd be like, okay, we'll do it then, take a break, till the second of the month, give ourselves a month or something like that. But no, it was just constantly nonstop, if you know what I mean. Just one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. So, yeah, very busy summer, and I think that's why it went by fast, because we kept ourselves occupied and everything. And I know my mom, even though she had a good time and has good memories to go along with it, I know my mom is not too thrilled that it went by so fast, that she didn't have like the typical summer she's used to having, to where like, yeah, she knows she's going to do something here and there, but not so, extravagant, not so like, whoa, what is going on here? Because if you would have told her, if you would have told her that outside of the wedding, which took place literally 9 days after she got out of school, if you would have told her that, after that basically you're going to have a triple graduation, and then you're going to go to a Giants and A's game at Oracle, and then you're going to go to Santa Cruz. If you would have told her that all that would be within the span of a time frame wise of less than a month, or a little over a month, if you would have told her that, hey, in the span of 30 something days, 30 or in the span of a little over 40 days, you're going to be doing a wedding, you're going to do a Giants game, you're going to do a wedding, you're going to do a triple graduation, you're going to do a Giants game, you're going to do Santa Cruz. If you would have told her that, a month before she got out of school for her summer break, if you would have told her that, she would have not believed you. She would have not believed you. Heck, if you would have told her that, at the beginning of the school year, like, what she's starting right now, going back to school for training and everything before the kids come in 2 weeks from now, or 2 weeks from Tuesday, if you would have told her, honestly, if you would have told her, yeah, at the end of this school year, ma'am, you're gonna have a wedding to attend, you're gonna have a graduation to attend, or graduation party to attend, you're gonna have a Giants A's game to attend, you're gonna go to Santa Cruz, and that's all gonna be within the first 40 days of your vacation, almost back to back to back, not time to breathe. Now, don't get me wrong, she did have time to breathe, but if you would have told her she'd be doing all of that, I guarantee you she wouldn't have believed you. I guarantee she would have not believed you, because it's not her typical summer to where it's like, okay, she's got a break and everything. It's not a typical summer to where, I'd be working like I did last year and she could have the place to herself. It's like she had to deal with a lot. Like when it came to the wedding, she had to make sure she got the right dress and everything. So, she was just kept going and going and going and going. I guarantee you that's what she's going to tell her fellow teachers, when she sees them. This is probably what she's telling her friend right now, because she's carpooling with her to where they got to go. Because, on top of everything like that, instead of mailing her a letter of, a return letter of, okay, like welcoming the teachers back and everything is now electronic. So now they got to check their emails. So she had me check her email on her phone, and guess what? Basically, the destination for them today and for the rest of this week, which is why I'm taking advantage of this week, which is why I chose this week to have off before I start back at work a week from today. The reason I chose this week is because basically the destination that they have for the week, for the retraining, the reintroduction, the telling of some of the new rules, which believe me, they're going to get some new rules told to them and everything. The destination is not the senior center or the community center in Livermore, which is, not that far from where she would work, during the school year. That instead it's in Dublin. That it's in Dublin at the community center, which my mom knows where that's at, but she's not thrilled about it. And what's funny is one of her fellow teachers called her up during church yesterday, and she had to call her back afterwards. And the fellow teacher's like, did you hear about this crap and all that? Did you hear about this? And she's like, yeah. And I guess my mom was like, I guess my mom and her friend worked out a deal to where my mom's carpooling with her up to the center. She's carpooling with her up to the center, even though and I don't know if maybe my mom's friend assisted, or not assisted, but insisted or even offered to do that. Or my mom basically was like, hey, is it okay if I ride with you? Because I'm not too particularly fond of going there, and even though I might know where it's at, I don't want to make a mistake that I might miss it, kind of deal. So either the friend offered to let her ride with her, or my mom was like probably asking if she could do it, and the friend was like cool with it. She was cool with it. But yeah, my mom left around 6:15 this morning, which is why right now it's about an hour later, and everything, and I'm doing this, because now, again, like I said, things are back to semi-normal. But yeah, she and her fellow teachers were not fond of that whatsoever. They were not fond of that. And I think another thing that made the summer kind of go by fast for her, from a busy perspective, is her teachers, because some of them would call her up just to see how she's doing, check up on things. But also they'd want to, ask her about the unemployment. Like, did you do, were you able to do this? Or did you have trouble doing this? And, can I get some help here? And stuff like that. So yeah, it's one of those, typical moments. So yeah, like I said, it's one of those typical summers that she's not, or one of those rare busy summers that is not her usual typical summer, if you know what I mean. But outside of that, it's been a good summer and very busy summer. And like I said, I made it go by fast, and things are getting back to semi-normal, because the thing that, this summer ends on a good note with, when it comes to me, is I got a job. Even if it's a temporary job, I don't care, as long as I get paid. And apparently with this job, it'll be a weekly pay. So I'm cool with that. Because even someone like me can't go crazy within the span of a week with certain money and everything. And if the Spotify stuff works out, and then eventually the YouTube stuff works out, that'll be enough to cover me, as well as the Teespring store stuff. That'll be enough to help me out in the long run. But outside of that, again, very busy summer, probably more busy than my mom's used to, or anybody would be used to. But yeah, things are back to semi-normal, and the way they stay semi-normal, especially when I go back to work, is even when I get off, I will have time to myself to do some videos and content for you guys, as best I can. So looking forward to that and working around that. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are down below. Comment if you like. Thank you all for joining me for this Monday morning live stream. Early Monday morning live stream. Thank you all for letting me be part of the start of your day. But give me your thoughts overall, guys. Let me know if you've ever dealt with let me know if you ever dealt with a summer that's been as busy as the one I've described, if not busier. Let me know. You will get an audio version of this at my Spotify. But guys, let me know what your thoughts are. Love to hear from all of you. Also, check out the Teespring store and everything. And again, like I said, check out BW Rose's Discussions, all your favorite audio podcast platforms except for Pandora. But more specifically, check it out on Spotify. That helps me out in a big, big way. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Hey guys, and until next time, I'm out.